Gynecologists have read it. What's the worst thing you've seen / most awkward experience? Friends, I warn you, eating and watching this video at the same time is a mistake. Bon appetit! My sister's boyfriend was doing a gyno rotation. He was quite upset as he was examining a woman that from sight and smell alone, it was obvious she had cervical cancer so advanced that she wasn't going to make it. For the first time on that rotation, he had to warn someone about their imminent death. It was all very depressing and solemn, so it was quite a relief when it turned out to be a tampon that had been in there long enough to resemble a tumor. Edit. On TSS, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand it, the bacteria that causes TSS is either present in a patient or not, like MRSA. TSS is not an inevitable consequence of disgusting tampon behavior. It is a sad, sad day when a rotten tampon is good news. I once had a roommate but was a nasty, unhygienic little troll. She was always funky, but at some point she just started to smell bad. You could smell her rancid cunt from 2 rooms over, stank up the house. The rest of us living there, 5-person party house type setup, all told her to see a gyno and she just thought we were insulting her. Until the stabbing pains started. All the pot and pills she took wouldn't kill the pain, so he finally went to the doc. Same situation as you described. She had lost a tampon up there for months, to the point where it was black and rotting and causing massive infection. She nearly died and would have if she hadn't gotten to the hospital when she did. Not an OBGYN, but a couple years back, I went in for my annual exam and they discovered I had a second, small-ish, sneaky sort of vagina. Apparently this isn't that common, and so of course all the medical students had to take a look. And of course they were all men. It was like a party all for my vaginas. Do you have to do a certain finger movement to get the hidden vagina to open like one of those secret passages you have to move a fake book on a shelf to get into? Haha, absolutely. All you have to do is tell me I'm beautiful. The thing pops right open. Ah, so it's like a secret password. In that case, you're beautiful. One of my friends worked as an intern with a gynecologist 2 years ago. There was a client complaining that she couldn't get pregnant. She also had been having diarrhea for a long time. The gynecologist asked if she regularly had anal sex, and the woman confirmed that she only did it anally. Her husband had told her you can get pregnant from anal sex, so she wanted it nonstop to get pregnant. I thought there were laws against forcing anal sex onto a mentally handicapped person. Phew. Thank God it's only anal. That's the sound her rear makes now. I'm no gynecologist, but I have cleaned oozing pus from a 70-year-old septic vagina. I was 21 years old at the time, and I'm a guy. No more bingo hall hookups for you, young man. My wife is an OBGYN specializing in maternal fetal medicine, which is basically high-risk patients. She had an obese, diabetic woman come in with an abscess the size of a lemon on her labia. When they lanced it, the abscess exploded, missing my wife, but hitting her nurse. She described the smell as worse than 1,000 decaying bodies, and the nurse with over 10 years of experience proceeded to throw up all over the exam room. And because of this comment, I am getting the fuck out of this thread before I lose my breakfast. Time for breakfast. I'm thinking oatmeal. With labia lemon. Friends, I really want to get 100 subscribers by the end of the month, so please like and subscribe. I have lots of interesting stories. Enjoy watching. One that a colleague in OBGYN shared a while back. A woman was in for a pelvic exam, is up in the stirrups, and my colleague has her fingers in up to the cervix. At this point, something possesses the woman to ask, and I quote, "So, do you ever think about stuffing a turkey while you're doing this?" My colleague, trying to keep a straight face, answers, "No, but now I will every Thanksgiving." The woman finds this hilarious and proceeds to stare my colleague dead in the eye while yelling, "Gobble, gobble, 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 gobble," with my colleague's hand still up her hoodie-hoo. I still enjoy telling that story to friends at Thanksgiving. It means more turkey for moi. And then she went home and wrote the screenplay for the movie Giggly. Ex-girlfriend's dad used to be in the field before retiring. Worst case he had was a woman who was a heroin addict. For whatever reason, she had to get creative with where she injected. Apparently, she considered her labia a good place to inject, until they went gangrene on her. Oh my God, it's like a much more horrible version of Requiem for a Dream.
My mom works as a gynecologist assistant, and she has told me a few stories. A woman once went in and apparently filled an entire room with her putrid stench. She'd been wearing the same underwear for 2 months, and her panties, which were originally white, became a darkish yellow-brown. She apparently wasn't very good at wiping either. You know, these were white when I bought them. When I was 13, I was diagnosed with endometriosis. I had to go to the gynecologist about once every 4 months for checkups because my endo was pretty severe and was growing back quickly. My regular doctor was great, but I had to see another doctor while he was out of town. I was 14 at the time, and this other doctor was really rough during her exam, had long fingernails that seriously felt like she was cutting into me, etc. Then she ends the whole exam by telling me that I should get pregnant soon because that would cure the endo. My mom flipped out at this woman. Keep in mind, I was 14, and we never saw her again. Oh, and getting pregnant is not a cure for endo. Not a gyno, but was an EMT and firefighter about 10 years back. Treated a very attractive woman who decided to dump about 4 ounces of Drano into/on her vagina to kill the sperm that her date left in her by accident. Just think of an English bulldog who got popped an Alka-Seltzer, got into a Costco-sized jar of mayo, and then was punched in the face about 10 times. That's what it resembled. To add to the awkward factor, about a year later, I met a very attractive woman at a grocery store, got her number, and met her for drinks. Later that night, we ended up at my place making out. As soon as I started taking her shirt off, I suddenly remembered that the girl who I had taken out for drinks was the one who previously dumped Drano into her vag. Our night ended abruptly and awkwardly, as you can imagine. What's Drano? The most toxic drain cleaner ever made. Shit's intense, but it works. Previous answer, edit. Holy fucking shit, what is wrong with people? That's one of my favorite edits ever. This is a story from a friend's dad. Happened 3 summers ago. An overweight woman comes into the office for an STD test and pelvic exam, complaining of colorful discharge, an awful stench, and burning during urination. She assumes she has gonorrhea. Wrong. It was much worse. He gets in there for the pelvic exam, all the while assaulted by the stench of rot, and finds a fucking frog in her vagina. This thing is heavily decomposed, since the warmth of the woman's vaginal cavity has helped to speed up the process. And he has to pull it out piece by piece. Needless to say, she also had a wicked UTI. The woman explained that she'd passed out naked and drunk, high or whatever, at some party at her boyfriend's house, and figures he or one of his friends must have thought it would be an absolute riot to put a live fucking frog up her vag. She apparently did not seem bothered by the fact that an animal had died and decomposed in her vagina, just relieved she didn't have gonorrhea. Edit. For extra gross out, it's worth knowing that this was in Memphis, Tennessee, where temperatures routinely get well over 100 degrees with over 90% humidity. Think about that. What the hell? Well, it's 10 a.m. and I think I'm done with Reddit for the day. My grandmother was an OBGYN nurse for 20 years. One night, she came home from work and was eating dinner at the table. Out of nowhere, she slammed her silverware down and screamed, "If I have to look at one more fucking cunt the rest of my life, I will kill someone." She quit the next day. I picture Clint Eastwood in a wig.
I think I already said this elsewhere, but I had to get an ultrasound once. And forgive my layman's terms, but there's an instrument that goes up your crotch instead on your tummy. The woman was unfamiliar with the video equipment they used and couldn't get a clear shot of my innards. So she kept swiveling this thing everywhere for a good 10 minutes, and honestly, it felt really, really, really good. I was so uncomfortable, and I probably would have gotten away with it if I wasn't so pale that my "oh shit, I am so turned on right now" flush wasn't really noticeable. She glanced up at my face, laughed, and said, "I'm almost done, sweetie, then you can go home." The implied "and finish up" killed my lady boner. Shame, shame, shame.
I gyno once took a urine sample to check for something, I don't remember what exactly, but not pregnancy. When she came back in the room, she goes, "Well, XYZ was fine, but guess what? You're pregnant." After several seconds of me freaking out and about to start crying, she goes, "Ha ha, just kidding." Not funny. No. Is so incredibly fucked up, that doctor is an asshole.
Surgeon here. I was doing a pediatric surgical rotation when an 8-year-old girl was brought in by her parents in ER for vaginal bleeding. I was called in to have a look at her because the nurse could see something inside. Yep, there was stuff inside, and lots of it. Pencils. She used to pleasure herself with pencils. Took her to theater and removed more than 20 pencils from her. Scarred for life. Can never look at pencils without remembering that. An 8-year-old. An 8-year-old. I'm a critical care nurse, and we had a prostitute brought in through the ER, and she kept grabbing towards her vagina, shouting she had stuff in there. We looked at each other and thought, oh no, now we gotta look. We proceeded to pull out toilet paper, $32.50, and a handful of maggots. Almost all of us gagged. $32 I understand, but 50 cents?
My friend is a nurse at a gyno's office, and she told us this story a few years ago. A lady came in complaining that she was bleeding during sex. When the doctor examined her, he found 2 old condoms and an old tampon. She also said she hadn't gotten her period in 6 months. Jesus. With all these tampons lost up the vag stories, I'm now scared I may have one chilling up there. Friends, thank you for watching this video with a special smell. Write your stories in the comments, like, and subscribe. Talk to you soon.